Inconsistency and corruption in the Gambia, a threat to national unity, peace, and democracy, fueled by the government, by activist Madi Jabate. The Gambia stands today at a crossroads where the integrity of its governance is in serious question. The persistent inconsistency in the application of the law, coupled with entrenched corruption and selective justice, is eroding the very foundation of our national security, unity, and peace. Democracy thrives only where justice is blind and accountability is uncompromising. Unfortunately, the Gambia government has increasingly displayed tendencies that undermine these principles. Laws and institutions that were meant to protect citizens are instead being weaponized to silence dissidents, intimidate critics, and set those loyal to the ruling elite. One glaring manifestation of this selective justice is the recent treatment of citizens and leaders. For example, while Imam Abdul Karim Kuyate was summoned and questioned by the police for expressing his views, others such as Minister Demba Sabali have faced no consequences for similar or even more serious actions. Also, while protesters against Pura's data flow price were forcefully and violently dispersed by police claiming they did not have a permit, supporters of Imam Kuyate, on the other hand, occupied and blocked an entire major street in the center of the capital city without a permit and faced no forceful dispersal by the same police. This double standard not only violates the principle of equality before the law, but also fuels resentment, mistrust, and division among citizens. Even more troubling is the part of shading and rewarding public officials implicated in corruption rather than facing investigations or accountability. Some of these individuals continue to enjoy political protection and even promotion. For example, two ministers, Abdullah Job and Abdul Job, have been sanctioned by the National Assembly for misconduct, yet President Adama Barrow protects them. Such practices embolden misconduct while weakening the rule of law and public trust in government institutions. When corruption thrives unchecked and justice is applied selectively, the state itself becomes a source of insecurity. Citizens lose faith in the fairness of the institutions and in the possibility of redress through legal and democratic means. This in turn heightening the risk of instability as frustration and injustice often become fertile ground for conflict. From today, what justification would the Gambia Police Force have again to ask anyone not to assemble and occupy a street? The Gambia cannot afford this dangerous path. Our hand-on-won democracy after decades of dictatorship should not be betrayed by the very government entrusted to protect it. Peace and unity cannot exist where corruption is normalized, where ethics is criminalized, and where the law is applied as a weapon rather than a shield for all. The urgent call today is for the Gambia government to restore integrity and fairness in governance. Justice must be applied equally and transparently, without fear or favor. Corrupt officials must be investigated and held accountable regardless of their political or social standing. Civic society, the media, and citizens must continue to resist impunity and demand accountability. Only through genuine commitment to justice, transparency, and equality can the Gambia protect its democracy, strengthening national unity, and secure lasting peace for generations to come. For the Gambia, our homeland, by Madi Jobate, activist. This one is by Tukulor C, Selective Justice, the Gambia Police Force. Pura protesters were manhandled, thrown into vans and sent into one of Africa's worst prisons for simply gathering to deliver a petition about data systems that are robbing Gambians blind. Today, supporters of an imam took to the street and they went scot-free. The Gambia Police Force just yesterday you tried to clean your image by stating that Gambians against looted assets and Team Gomsabopa protesters broke the law because they did not have a permit. If that's the case, why didn't you arrest those with a crowd much bigger? Is this selective justice? Isn't this a double standard? Your inaction in the Imam supporters gathering shows that your arrest of the youths was premeditated.